U.S. Monetary History, Chapter 2. First paper money issued in the Western world. Paper money was first issued in China. It caused massive hyperinflation due to government misuse. Furthest west it ever traveled was to the Middle East, where a broke king tried to use it to finance his spending habits. This would end in economic calamity, and he would be later strangled by a bowstring. The Massachusetts government brought paper fiat money to the West for the first time. The Massachusetts government would often launch raids into Quebec and return with booty that would finance the debts for the raid. However, this time, in 1690, they would be beaten back and there was no plunder to be had. To pay the soldiers, the government decided that it would print paper fiat money as an emergency currency to pay the troops, as disgruntled and unpaid troops are known to cause problems and mutinies. Massachusetts had tried to borrow the money, but with their credit being less than perfect, they were unable to secure the funds of 3,000 to 4,000 pounds needed. And in December 1690, they printed 7,000 pounds of paper money to pay the soldiers with. This came with a twofold pledge. 1. The notes would be redeemed with gold and silver out of tax revenue over the next few years. 2. That there would be no further issuance of fiat paper money. As one can guess, with a less than reputable debtor, neither of these would happen for nearly 40 years. In 1 year's time, the Massachusetts government found themselves with empty pockets once again. In order to redeem old notes and pay debts that were coming due, they would issue another 40,000 pounds in notes. In response, the bill's value dropped on the open market 40% against specie. In 1692, Massachusetts would take action to force people to use and accept the paper money. They created the first legal tender laws in America. This required people to accept the notes at par value and would put a 5% premium on taxes paid with the paper money. If people did not comply with the legal tender laws, they could be jailed, fined, and have property confiscated. The Massachusetts government would launch another failed raid shortly thereafter. To make up this shortfall, they would release 500,000 pounds in paper money to finance this failed raid. All of the remaining specie was driven out of circulation, and the note's value versus silver fell another 30%. Once again, Greshans law took hold, the bad money driving out the good. Before the Massachusetts government had started printing money, there was 200,000 pounds of silver money available. After this, all of the silver money had left circulation. The paper money, rather than solving a money shortage problem, had created an even bigger one. The local economy far from prospered, as the debts from the government were transferred to anyone holding the paper notes through the tax of inflation. This would hurt the trade throughout the region and stifle imports and exports. Join us in our next video to learn about the full impact of inflation as we look into the land banks that would create speculative bubbles and crashes across the colonies.